Right then guys, welcome back to another video here. So this is going to be a voiceover for a back workout. Now, I've just shown you here a little few clips around the gym, but to be honest with you, I know it's not great. This was actually filmed after the workout, so it was a lot darker, but I've just basically put the exposure up here to show you. They've got some decent equipment, so you know, you got lat pull down, you got a T-bar row, you've got a bench, some leg equipment. I will say it's actually pretty decent. Not got everything that you'd want, but definitely a better selection than just your typical hotel gym. But that takes me on to my next point, which is actually that this is actually in a hotel. So it comes up on Google as just a normal gym, and you can completely just go there even if you're not a resident or a paying member, whatever, which I wasn't. So I drove here on the moped, and I can't remember exactly how much the price was. It was about average. It wasn't cheap, it wasn't expensive, but you know, a decent place to work out and switch up the vibes, just switch up the equipment pretty much. So as you can see, it's pretty nice here because you're right next to the beach. So yeah, overall kind of ambience is just nice. So here, kind of going back in time a little bit, this is when it was a bit earlier in the day, starting for the back session here with heavy lat pull down. So I'd say for me, lat pull downs have been probably my most frequent and consistent back exercise throughout my whole time in Thailand, which might sound quite common because I know a lot of you guys obviously will see the benefit of these, but for me, I've done it even more than I used to in the UK, purely because this is one that I can just rely on. So most of the time I can find a decent enough weight that if I control it and I go, you know, medium to high rep, then I can get crazy soreness on my back the day after, or sometimes even a couple days after. And yeah, I just feel like I'm actually working the back well. So that is the aim of most of my back training, is lat focused. However, I do a lot for upper back as well, as you should guys, because it's not just about the aesthetics, but also if a lot of you people are training chest often and shoulders, you don't want to get that rounded posture and cause imbalance and injury. So yeah, make sure you are doing some scapular retraction, and the simplest way to do that is probably going to be like cable rows, you know, chest supported rows, maybe some T-bar rows, things like that, and that will really help you out. So yeah, you can see here I've dropped the weight a little bit, and I'm just going for a little bit of a higher rep, a little bit less time between the reps, because I'm just keeping the pace and the tempo up a little bit here, but overall still keeping good form and controlling the weight a lot. So I will use straps for 99% of my lat pull down sets, obviously if they're with a attachment like a bar or something that I can comfortably do that. If it's a mag grip, then I don't find the need, but I still would benefit from using chalk. But for me, when I'm traveling, I don't carry that around with me. So yeah, straps, obviously they're very portable. You can put them in your bag. You know, if you go away, even if I go to Spain for a weekend, I'd still take them with me because they basically take up no space and no weight. So yeah, that won't always be the case. I used to use a heavy lifting lever belt often, and that became a problem if I'd go away, because then I wouldn't be able to actually use that, and all of my lifts would feel a little bit off. So trying to create that consistency is sometimes important, but then again, it doesn't mean that you have to have that same amount of weight. It's still taxing the muscle, then it's still doing you justice. But obviously some things like a lifting belt and elbow sleeves are also used for the basically safety and not just the weight. So you can see then after the lat pull down, I'm moving on to some single arm rows. These are basically high to low, so still for me feel like they're really targeting my lats on this one, and I'm not going crazy heavy at all on this one. Like usually I'll do around sort of 3 plates each side depending on the machine, but here was definitely a lot lighter. But still, after that lat pull down there, absolutely frying my back, and you can see the leanness, the actual veins coming out in the middle of my back at the top there, showing proper vascularity and not much body fat at all. So good to see that progress, not just in the physique updates, but also in the actual session itself. And then you can see at the end, I'm just doing basically some assisted kind of partial reps, but doing it myself because I'm only doing one arm. So I don't do that too much. I'd say sometimes with maybe a bicep curl, a pull down, and then maybe the odd hamstring curl if I can do that with the machine. So mainly the pull-up movements, actually, I would say. But yeah, just showing you a few different angles here. So like I said, it is really cool, the overall ambience and vibe that you get at this place, because you are pretty much out training outside, you know, near the beach with trees around, and it's just pretty laid back. And a fun place to be. So I would recommend trying this out if you are in the area. I don't know the name off the top of my head, but I will put it in the description when I go back and upload this to YouTube. So for me, at this current point in time, I am taking a little bit of a step back from trying to push my back training overall compared to the rest of my body. I'm still not taking huge sessions off. It's actually pretty much as frequent in my weekly routine, if that makes sense, but I won't do as many sets or reps per week than I would if I was absolutely fixated on growing it. I'd say that sometimes for me, I can work the muscle enough and know that it's fatigued rather than spending hours more doing it when I could just be focusing on something that's a little bit more effective. And obviously everyone does only have a certain amount of hours in the day or the week, and also energy levels do deplete. So you could just keep working out and working out and working out, but to a certain extent that isn't really going to be doing you too much good. So I'm not someone that preaches long workouts. I'm not someone that preaches short workouts. I think, to be honest, everyone does have a preference. The main thing is, are you getting sore? Are you progressing in strength? And then obviously, are you seeing progress physically, if that is one of your goals, which for most people it would be. And if at least I'd say 2 of those are ticked, then you're doing pretty well. If you can optimize it and obviously have all of those points covered, then that is going to be ideal. You know, there's no point in just getting stronger and, you know, enjoying the lifts and all that sort of stuff, but not actually seeing any physical progress if your main goal is to lose body fat or build muscle. That's not going to last very long. So yeah, that can actually be quite deceiving, and I have talked about this in a video very, very long ago, which was that if you are progressing in the gym and you do feel like you're going up in strength, but your main goal is to actually put on size, you need to make sure that you are actually going up a little bit in scale weight, because sometimes it is possible to just kind of gain strength while maintaining the same body weight. And although that's less likely to happen when you start lifting weights, just because of how beginner gains works and how much you can put on muscle at the start versus further into your lifting journey, but it's still a possibility. So yeah, definitely don't just rely on, am I getting stronger, or do I feel like I'm enjoying this, or any of those factors solely. I'd also incorporate body weight daily, and it's really not that difficult, guys. You know, it takes 10, 15, maybe 30 seconds max to just stand on the scale, wait for it to load, either digitally onto your phone or manually, just write it down, whatever, and then you're done. So yeah, T-bar rows next up, which, as I said, is a pretty cool piece of equipment to have in a gym like this. And then I think after that I moved back onto lat pull down just to do a few more reps there, because I wanted to really fatigue my back. And to be honest, it was also because I've been using the hotel gym a lot, and it's been a little while since I've been in a place with a bit more variety of equipment, because I've just been on the cables and the dumbbells. So although this is still very, very limited, obviously when you're used to even less than that, then this becomes not a luxury, but definitely more versatile and more useful. So you'll see in the next few videos I do start to branch out a bit more, and there's another gym coming up which is really, really cool, which is way more stacked with equipment, and I have some very good workouts there. But nonetheless, as I said, it's still a very cool place to have ticked off and add to the training atlas, which, as you guys might know if you've been following the channel for a little while, or if you're new around here, that is pretty much the objective of these videos, is for me to not only document my progress and obviously just have fun posting these and editing and watching it back, but also to make note for myself and to other people that are going to be going back to Thailand or going for their first time, what gyms are worth going to, or what's actually worth for me revisiting in the future. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to either message me on Instagram, which is the same as my YouTube, just GBFITUK, or you can drop a comment down below and I'll try and get back to you as soon as possible. But yeah, stepping out here from the toilets, as you can see, guys, it doesn't really get much better than this. Like, out on the beach, sun is setting, it's just mind-blowing. So really, really cool, and just a great finish to the workout. So physique update here to end things off. And again, not much is going to have changed since the last couple of days, because I have been consistent with the uploads, and the variables have pretty much stayed the same. So there's been no crazy refeeds, There's been no crazy lifts where I've been particularly carved up or anything like that. They've just been pretty much always fasted for the last few days. So that will change in the future, because there will be the odd day where I do have some carbs, and I'll probably talk about that when I'm actually doing the voiceover in the session. But yeah, as you can see, definitely you can tell that I've had a back day. Lats are pumped, feeling really, really good. Still vascular, but also upper back from those T-bar rows is nice and pumped as well. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. We're trying to push to 600 subscribers, so definitely drop a subscribe if you're not already. Give the video a like, and yeah, as always people, the only way is up.